All right, everyone, it's Thursday. I'm Andrew Doud. It's time for our Happening in the Hamptons podcast, our weekly breakdown of the Hamptons market, new listings, and events on the East End. We are sponsored today by New York Title Abstract, the Hamptons' leading title insurance firm. Visit newyorktitle.com. We have Steve Glick, Dave Rotiner, and a return guest, a personal favorite, my wife, Sarah Doud. How are you? Good to have you back on.
I just love the introduction every time. It gets better.
I gotta come up with a different way to.
I like coming on the show, so
yeah,
we're gonna have to keep getting creative here.
Well, this is we talk about the podcast. We've been doing this is episode 186 or something. We're coming up on 200.
We're coming up on 200. Yeah.
And you've had people reach out to you. And they're like, tool. I've heard you on the podcast. Let's talk real estate.
It's an incredible tool. And I think our listeners really appreciate what we do. And I think there's a lot of knowledge here that's very helpful for people wanting to know more about the Hamptons real estate market. So we're here to help.
So what do you want to talk about today? I know you've been busy because when I'm not working in marketing at Saunders, I'm wrangling the kids so that you can do real estate. And I know you're busy. Yeah.
It's 24/7 for sure. If you want to do this job right. So we do as much as we can. But I think the big topic is the election. A lot of people, the market was super on fire for me. Everything was kind of posted. Previously. Oh. So positioned right, marketed right, priced right. Offers the first day, the first 2 weeks, contracts out, multiple offers, off-market deals moving, a lot of good, healthy real estate movement. And then I would say in the last month, things just got maybe a pinch quiet. I think a lot of people took a pause, I want to call it, and just kind of were waiting to see what was going to happen. And now with that behind us, I think I'm expecting things to kind of continue to shuffle forward here. Of course, a little slowdown with the holidays is natural, but I expect the market to continue with that healthy movement.
Well, speaking from a marketing standpoint, I mean, I would say that this has probably been one of my busier fall seasons from, I do all the videos, right?
Yeah.
And like everything always picks up a little bit in September when, agents are like, hey, I need to get this done or shot before the leaves change or the pool's closed or what have you. But like just in general, like there has not been a day of the week that I've been able to
what happened to you, in my opinion, is property videos went from a special thing to just normal.
Yeah, expectation for sure.
So all 300 of our listings and even our exclusive rentals, they're calling you up for property videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we've seen a property boom the past 2 months of listings coming onto the market. The inventory has been wild. It's been coming on. The summer has ended, and then that's where the boom came in. And I'm sure, Sarah, you experienced that. You were really busy. And then, of course, leading up to the election, the week before, people just want to wait and see, watch the news. The good news is that the election's over. We have a clear winner, and now we can move forward and past that. And we're still in the selling season, like you said. Like we're going to continue on all the way through, the holiday season. So we still have like a month into our selling season where it's busy, and the weather, it's been
and a lot of people ask,
warm.
Should I hold out and list in the spring? Should I list now? I always encourage people to list. It's great if we can have 70-degree weather like we have now and still get incredible footage and videos and photos. But there's a buying season, I feel, year round.
Sure.
It might be busier in the spring and there might be more buyers out, but that doesn't mean the right buyer isn't here now. So I always encourage people to, if you're ready as a seller, get it out. And
absolutely. Transactions happen. People think, December and January, nothing happens. No, there's deals to be made. People are still buying and selling homes. Don't think it just falls off a cliff. Certainly it's a little bit lower than in the selling season, but there's still opportunities out there.
And from a buyer perspective, I think you should keep moving. You should keep, your eye on the market now as much as you should in the spring.
People always try to time the market, but it's just whatever works for you. If you're ready to transact and there's a home that you
That's
like,
advice to give anybody. Whatever works for them.
Don't try to wait and time it out and figure out the best month or best time to list or buy or sell. Whatever works for you is the best time.
Didn't you have somebody go out on like New Year's Day?
Yeah,
And-
often in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
It was kind of the time of the bidding wars, and there was a snowstorm happening on a Friday, and it just came on, and it was in that lower under $1 million price point where it was very competitive. And we looked at each other and said, well, we have to go now.
Yeah.
And we had the inspection done before the snow melted and before everyone kind of woke up and stepped away from their cozy fires and got out there looking. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you had to be super aggressive in that moment.
That was a different market. That was a couple years ago and everything. But so all right, so let's talk about this market currently. So you mentioned one listing, that went in the contract in a week, I think.
Wow.
Or
Yep.
less. I mean,
The first day we got an offer, but we held out for a week just to get everybody through, and then decided that was the
Which
one
is
to move
amazing.
forward with. Yeah.
Good for you.
So what is your message to sellers then? I mean, is it you have more inventory coming on, so it's not like you can just price it wherever you want and you're going to get what that is. So what are you telling sellers as far as pricing or maybe staging or renovations, or like what is your message to them as far as how to properly list their property and be competitive in this current market?
I think price is king. You really need to come out of the gate with an accurate price, because if you're overpriced, you really just get overlooked. Buyers are very savvy. They have a lot of tools. They have a lot of great agents working with them. And the houses that I see moving the most effectively are the ones that are priced correctly and in the zone out of the gate. And so pricing, I think price coaching from the list agent is number one. And then exceptional marketing, I think, is really important. It has to be videos, it has to be podcasts, it has to be social media. All of those things, I think, and the agent-to-agent network are extremely important.
You have a very good social media presence, which I think a lot of people think that
It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. It's
you
fun.
do.
It's
You
fun.
well, people are
I
like,
like
oh.
it too. I don't know why I like doing I don't have no reason to do my personal social media. I think it's fun.
No, she makes it part of her job, and even though I'm the video guy, I don't edit her stuff at all, because she basically we did the same job before we got into real estate. We were both TV reporters, so we have like an editing background, but she handles our own stuff, shoots it, edits it. I think you got a great
podcast highlights will be on later. I mean,
Nice.
it's fun. It keeps the conversation going. It keeps something interesting to look at. And,
yeah.
work comes from it. So
Speaking of things to look at, I'm always looking for good transitions. Have you noticed that? Right? Speaking of things to look at, you have two really solid listings, 55 Wickatuck Drive in Sag Harbor, which is, let's just start there. This one, I love this house because when you talk about location being everything, this is
900 feet to
right
put
where you're at.
Your feet in the sand at the Bay Beach there, Long Beach. The price is $1,049,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It is move-in ready. It is well cared for. Location is amazing. You've got the village right there. You've got the Serene Green farm stand. Grab a cappuccino, just down the street. And then, of course, the beach makes it really exceptional. You really can't beat the quality of the house, the price, and the location if you're looking to be in Sag Harbor. And for those three things, this is the house across the board if you looked at all the available inventory.
If you looked at it from, I mean, it's a great little beach house, right? You want a place to come out, easy living in the summer, good location, that's great. But if somebody was like, I might want to rent it, what's the rentability of something
Well, it
like
has
that?
a great solid rental history with higher numbers than even some bigger houses in the area. I think 40,000 was the mark for just the season last year. We got 5,500 for a year round at one time.
This is a client of yours. This is
we
somebody,
sold the house and then rented it successfully for I think it was 2 years or so. So it's got a great rental history. And then also, speaking of cute little beach house, there are some plans that were designed. They're not approved, but they're designed and ready to be, submitted for expansion and for a pool.
Oh, so there's room.
If someone has, ideas of doing something bigger, this is again a great option to consider.
I mean, at $1 million, it's like a
All right,
great
$1 million bucks
spot
in
to get
Sag Harbor.
in. Yeah.
It's a great spot.
Never mind that like 7 years ago, I think in that area you probably could have gotten something for like 600 or 700, but it's like
Even a little higher than.
Yeah, but it's like it's a great example of how the market's going to continue
And the
to trend
Hamptons
up.
continues to trend up, I always say.
Hampton Bays, an area that is certainly near and dear to us. This is where we call home, but 10 Bittersweet Avenue South. This is another move-in ready good location, pool, kind of checks all the boxes. So tell us about this house.
For the buyer who, has roughly $1 million to spend, but wants more than what we just described, you kind of shift out your areas a little bit, and Hampton Bays becomes an excellent choice. And so here you can get at 10 Bittersweet Avenue South, you can get a move-in ready house that already has the pool, that has amazing oversized hydrangeas just surrounding the property. Opportunity for expansion in the basement. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. You have a garage. It's a dead end street. I call it have it all in Hampton Bays because essentially you're checking a lot of boxes.
I cannot believe this is under $1 million.
Right.
It's
so
a great
you're checking
home.
all the boxes that buyers usually look for. And so it should really stand out and jump off the page when people are looking.
So those are some really good options. Let's look big picture with the numbers, Mr. Glick.
Sure.
What have we seen across the Hamptons?
All right. So we're coming into, this was the last week of October. So we're looking at the past week, there were 33 listings that went into contract from West Hampton to Montauk. Last year, there were 23. That's a year-over-year increase of 43%. When we go back 2 years ago, there were 24 listings. So we're looking at an increase of 38%. So certainly as we talk about how busy the market was, it shows over the past 2 years, we're looking at increases year over year. The breakdown of the 33 transactions, there is one between 15 and 20 million, one between 10 and 15, one between 5 and 10, 4 between 3 and 5, 7 between 2 and 3, 13 between 1 and 2, and there were 6 deals that went into contract under $1 million. The dollar volume out of those 33 transactions was $94 million. Last year was $78 million, so another increase of 21%. 2 years ago, the dollar volume in 1 week was $54 million, so we're looking at an increase there of 74%. New listings coming on, it was a little bit lower than the past 2 weeks. There were 24 new listings that came on, so with 33 going into contract, that decreases the inventory by 9 listings. Still a lot of inventory, though, coming on. The 24 new listings, there was one over 20 million, one between 10 and 20, 3 between 5 and 10, 6 between 3 and 5, 5 between 2 and 3, 6 between 1 and 2, and 2 under $1 million. The inventory stands at 2,069 total listings with 1,524 active and 545 currently in contract. So another good week of seeing increases in contracts and dollar volume and a slight decrease in new listings coming on. That could just be due to the timing of the election season.
Yeah.
But now that's over. We'll see what happens next week as these listings continue to come onto the market and then inventory still creeps up.
That was solid. That was you got it down to a science, you know?
That's the analysis.
He's like rapping, just spitting numbers.
Yep.
So, Dave, what do you got going on this weekend?
I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm going to Las Vegas with my wife this weekend.
No, you're not. Are you really?
He's going.
Yeah.
He's going to Vegas.
Do you know what?
To go see the rock
For literally 2 days. But if you want to do something this weekend in the Hamptons, first of all, can I just say, I want to give a shout out to PC Richards.
Okay. But go on.
So this morning or yesterday, my washing machine broke. And it was like a real problem. And I needed to get one like immediately. And I never really trusted PC Richards. You know, to me, that's just like a crazy store.
This is not a paid endorsement, by the way.
No, it's not paid at all. But I was gonna like go to Home Depot and buy one, and someone told me that they like install it for you. So I called PC Richards. I bought a washing machine over the phone via credit card, and the next day, which was this morning, 2 guys showed up at my house, got rid of the old one, and installed a new one. And it would have been just as much money if I had tried to do it myself. I think it was a little bit less money actually. So
we did our kitchen from there as well.
PC Richards, man, like small business. You know what I mean?
It's good that they came.
That's
the
like
next
a Long
day.
Island. Yeah. Like, thank God for those guys. Like I tipped the guy. You know, I was like, it was such a relief, and all I had to do was whistle.
Oh my God! You're
not a paid endorsement.
Terrible dad jokes.
That's a complete real story. Anyway, well, so do you want to talk about your thing?
Well, yeah, happening in the Hampton event.
Talk about that first.
Right. So November 19th. I grew up out east here, and I am raising my family in Hampton Bays, as we know. So Hampton Bays has become near and dear to my heart as we grow there. And there is an interesting thing happening that I think a lot of people should be paying attention to, especially from a real estate perspective, as that town continues to reach new heights and grow in market values and all of that. But all that being said, on November 19th at Canoe Place, which you haven't been there, you should come just to check that out in itself. There's a free event that the Chamber of Commerce is hosting. And as a guest, we will have the developer, Alfred Caiola, who owns land there and is brainstorming and hoping to achieve building kind of an extension to Main Street. And I don't know all the particulars about it. And again, if you want to know more, come to this free event, ask all your questions, see the designs, raise concerns, brainstorm. And I think that's the point of it. It's kind of like a listening tour to see what you like, see what you don't like, give feedback. And the idea is to have it be pedestrian friendly, shops, restaurants, open up the park, make some green spaces for possibly live music, things like that.
This particular patch of land connects effectively is like right between Main Street, the highway.
A beautiful park that's been built north of there.
Right.
So there's this empty space in between that this developer wants to build
that's
on
great.
his own dime. So,
really?
So it's something I think worth listening to, and we hope to get him on the podcast at some point to hear more from him. But it's a chamber members and their guests event. So if you do have any interest in this, I just say RSVP to me. You can find me on Instagram, or my cell is on the Saunders website. Sarah Doud Real Estate is the Instagram, but just so they can get a catering count is kind of why they're asking for RSVPs. But I think if you don't know about it already, it's something big that's kind of happening in town. And
cool.
Well, you look at
really
town,
great.
CPI, Canoe Place Inn, which sat abandoned for a long time and was effectively falling into the ground, and then, you talk about the redevelopment that's been restored, refurbished.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Like resurrected, basically. And it's an amazing first impression as you come into Hampton Bays from the east heading west. So, I think there's a lot of great restaurants. We've always talked about this in the podcast in Hampton Bays, and downtown has a lot to offer, the downtown Main Street hamlet.
There's spots of beautification and historic, revitalization that have happened, and the efforts have been there, but it needs kind of just this
more
extra push
to
unite it all.
Oh yeah,
And
it's definitely gonna happen.
Seems like an opportunity to me. So.
I see Hampton Bays as like an up and coming like West Hampton Beach or like Montauk or Sag Harbor.
Well, it's in the middle of the Hamptons too, so the values kind of surround you, and you can't help but have them push in. Over time.
Oh yeah.
So that's November 19th.
Yes, I mean, sticking with the Hampton Bays theme, have you guys heard of this restaurant, Rare?
It's like Rare Air?
Rare Air?
Yes.
Rare.
Sounds awesome.
Is it
man.
rare?
I've never been there. I've heard. I'm trying to think. Another real estate agent recommended it to me.
John.
That's right. John Healy. Yeah. So, but anyway, they're hosting a legendary Spanish wine dinner with Tempos Vegas Sicilia. So it's an exclusive dinner featuring the Spanish winery, and the owner's going to be there, and it's just like a whole winemaking. It's like a whole wine dinner featuring this wine, and you got this menu that's dedicated to this specific vineyard. You got lamb tenderloin, oxtail, sunchoke. Jesus, man, this looks good. Anyway, it's $195 a person, and this is like a super high-end, beautiful restaurant right on the border of Hampton Bays, right? It's like right.
Yeah, it says you're heading.
This is the entry.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
It's actually down the street from CPI. So if you're coming from the east and heading west, it's like there's this, and then you come across the canal, and then there's CPI, and it's like. Speaking
of CPI, they have Fireside Fridays featuring live acoustic music. Have you ever been to that?
No, but I have.
We blame that on 2 young children in ballet and a very rigorous schedule. But if we didn't, then we would.
Well,
if we had a social life, that'd be awesome.
It's family friendly. They have hot cider and rich hot chocolate and s'mores, and also warm craft cocktails.
And I think that's one of the things that makes Hampton Bays thrive is the year-round active community and
the restaurants, Italian restaurants. Oh my God, the Spanish restaurants is so good.
And they don't just kind of like shut down and become this sleepy little village.
To me, Hampton Bays, it's like just the food is incredible.
I'm going to get you to move there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Buy Bittersweet. It looks like a great,
Bittersweet,
great property, man. That's a perfect one.
Then we'll come over to your house for the pool.
You just saw me.
That's
I
the
saw
one.
my wife, man. You know, not
Send
selling
this
me.
Send this podcast to your wife.
You know, and then in Springs, you got the Springs Food Pantry Chowdown.
Chowder.
Yeah, I got to say with the
Chowder.
chowder.
Chowder. The red or the white?
Is there a difference in how you say
I
Well, I think
never
one's-
remember that.
One's New England clam chowder. That's white, right? And then what's the other one?
Manhattan?
Manhattan clam chowder, right?
Come on, Dad.
Look, man,
I'm New England all
I'm
the
from
way.
Philadelphia. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so it's at the Springs Firehouse. It's from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And they got New England clam, they got Manhattan clam, they got crab and corn, they got fish chowder.
I'm getting hungry, man.
It's gonna be good.
Chowder.
It's 50
A lot of
bucks.
food this weekend.
How do you go wrong?
All right.
And
50
it's for a
bucks.
good cause. This,
All right.
you know, the food pantry is a real thing. You know, especially in the wintertime. Like, you know, some people really can't afford real meals. You know what I mean?
Well, we might want to plug too.
There's only
that
so many
the-
nights. You know, you can just do like you know, super cheap meals. It's like they have really unbelievable food and a lot of families going.
Why don't you
there.
talk about the donation drive we have going on, Dave?
Yeah, the Saunders.
Yeah, we got the Saunders donation, the Saunders Thanksgiving donation drive. That's running right now. If you go to saunders.com,
Yep,
you
it's
can
right
click
on the
right on the
homepage.
link. And you can donate, and we donate thousands of dollars every year to all of the different food pantries.
How many years has that been going now? Over 10.
This is our 11th year.
Yeah,
So
okay.
in years past, we used to do the food drive, right, where people used to drop off canned foods and you know, goods and stuff like that we would literally hand deliver to all the food pantries. And then during the COVID years, we found out it was a lot harder for people to, you know, drop things off and to travel.
Yeah,
so
pick
they
it up,
said, hey,
yeah.
look, you know, money is always best, right? And the food pantries explained to us that they use the money and they buy it in bulk. So even though you're dropping off cans of food, if they have the monies, they're able to
it's almost
source
more
it.
effective?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's more effective, you know, to give money. So
They can buy fresh things.
yeah,
too, not just,
and so
It's powerful.
we
You really,
learned
you're
that,
helping locals.
yeah,
You know?
So we started the GoFundMe page, and we send it out through, you know, Hamptons.com, happening to Hamptons on our website, on our social media. We do it for the entire month, and we encourage everyone to donate. All that money, dollar for dollar, goes to the local food pantries. So we take whatever we get, we divide it up amongst, you know, there's like a dozen or so that we contribute to. We try to make sure we catch one in each town from, you know, West Hampton all the way out to Montauk, and we deliver checks.
I popped my head in there during Thanksgiving when I lived in Springs, and it was powerful. Like and there's a lot of people that don't have families out here. You know, they're just here for work. You know what I mean?
The need is big
They
out here, and it's
congregate
not
there
just-
at the church, and it was just like
It's
a beautiful
not just
thing.
for
It was a
Thanksgiving.
beautiful thing to see.
It's year round. You know, obviously we promote it hard during the Thanksgiving season because no one should be without a hot or a nice Thanksgiving meal. But it's something that is needed throughout the whole entire year. So, you know, the monies that we provide them helps throughout the whole year. So if you have an opportunity or want to make a small donation, any size, just go to saunders.com, click on the link, and make a donation. We appreciate it.
yeah, we're at $3,400 already.
Yeah,
Great.
so we just launched it this week. So we got a ways to go to reach our goal, but we'll get there.
That's all right. We got time. Dave, what else you got?
One more thing. They got the Candlelight Fridays at Wolfer that just started up. So you can go to Wolfer. Same concept, I guess, as CPI, but it's at Wolfer. And you go in the tasting room inside, and then you have wine and candlelight, and it's dark. And they got music playing.
Sarah, I'm sure you have open houses or showings. You have a
Yep.
lot going on at these properties this
The
weekend.
weekends are always busy, so
Yeah.
the open houses are already posted.
Great.
You can find them on all the platforms online, and I hopefully will get to see everyone this weekend.
Right? Awesome.
And we have to go into the city on Sunday. Just
There may be a Rockette show on the schedule
Ooh,
can't wait.
for the kids.
kicking off the holiday season early. There you go. Is your Christmas tree up already?
No,
Come on.
no. That's next week. All right. That's great. Sarah, thanks for joining
Thank
us.
you
We'll have
all.
you back on again soon. Dave, Steve, thank you. Everybody, thanks for listening. That's it. That's Thursday. That's our podcast. I'm Andrew Doud, and that's what's happening in the Hamptons.